Yeah, you could say it's kind of getting serious. So it's finally time that the weather is warm enough that I can roll the car out and get everything degreased in the engine bay and underneath the car. So as you see behind me, the car is gone. It's out in the driveway, sitting in the sun, and I'm going to get to that first thing in the morning. I've also got the engine out, which was sitting right here. That is rolled out, and why my engine hoist is in the middle of the garage is I don't have a driveway yet. I haven't poured that concrete. So if you look out there, the engine's sitting out there, but I had to hoist it down, basically pick it up and set it down outside the doorway, and then roll it out into the driveway so I can degrease it. So there's the old tired smile block in there, getting ready to get cleaned. And there's the engine bay. So that K member obviously is the old 4-cylinder one. The 80 I'm taking out. I've already painted the 92, which there's the end result. And let me show you how I started that. So today I'm going to start the adventure of cleaning the car to get ready to start reassembly of it. So you knew how gross the car was. It's pretty gross. So I haven't rolled it outside, but I thought I'd bring out my K member. Now this is the one off the 92 that I'm going to keep. And I spent a good hour this morning just degreasing it. And then I wasted a green scrubber and I got that done. Now it was black by the time it was done, and so for oil, I just tossed it. It was so bad. But this is probably 3 rounds of degreaser on that, so you can see it's kind of that strawberry color that the 92 was. And I'm going to paint it black, so anything with the metal showing or some rust, which is pretty typical on these things. I've already hit it with some of the rust inhibitor transformer that I've had. Same stuff I used on the interior of the car. You can see it's kind of shiny because that's now done. It's painted or has it on there and it's drying in the sun. So I'm going to let that sit, and then I'm going to start painting this black because the car is going to be black with the dark theme, and having a strawberry K member just doesn't seem right. So on to let that dry and then paint. Alright, so there's coat 1 of the paint. So the rust inhibitor dried, and this is the top section. So I'm just going to paint this black, and this is just some black Rust-Oleum. So it's still wet, so as you can see it's shiny, but I'm out of paint. I got to get some more. So this is just going to be functional. It's not anything sexy and racy and all that, but it's what I have. And for the low-cost alternative of just recycling, this is going back in because I know it fits the V8 because that's what was in there. So more paint, and then I have a lot more stuff to degrease before I can start putting this car back together. So really I've got all the holes taped up mostly from the inside so I can try to reduce the water going in. But I did the exterior right there for the brake booster. So I've got to scrub all that, and obviously right up here was a lot of rusty metal I was just kind of toying with to see what I wanted to work on. And so I'm going to go ahead and sand that down, basically the metal, etch prime it so it's sealed, and then just restore it back. So the question is, what do I paint this engine bay? Do I do flat black, black, red? No, not red, obviously, but the car is going to stay black for a while. So do I go back to the factory silver, which is this color? Or do I do just like a gloss or flat black? Not sure yet. Still got time to decide. This is the exterior, so there's the mirrors that I've done, the sail panels, obviously the carbon fiber wrap, all the trim, sunroof, and this car, whew, is dirty. So I'm going to let it sit out overnight, and that way the windows won't explode out of it when I put in some washing in the morning, and it won't be so hot. If you can look in the interior here, everything's covered, so I've got the transmission tunnel right there, duct tape over it, and everything else is pretty close to ready to start cleaning out and cleaning up. Alright, so here's the finished product on the engine after cleaning I don't know how many times. At least on top of the intake is better. I'm not going to say it's fresh because it's not. It's a 100-something thousand mile engine. Factory exhaust, all that kind of stuff, but at least you can kind of see the oil pan is gray. and back around here. So this will definitely motivate the wide body Fox coming up, the Jokeman. And here's the other side. So factory iron heads, all that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm going to end today. And tomorrow I'm going to suit up and work on the car. So that is a wrap for today. All right, so good morning. So today is day 2 of the degrease-a-thon. So if you see behind me, the coupe is still sitting outside. I left it outside and it's nice and cool. So I've washed the body with just some car wash detergent and a rag, because I knew the rag was going to be almost black because it was going to be pulling off dirt plus paint this morning. So this is washed. It ain't great, but I've also spent the last, I don't know, hour and something on the engine bay. So let me show you that, because that came out pretty nice. So here's the engine bay. At least you can see it's actually gray and black, which it should be. And some of it's down to metal. So I won't be painting this, but you can kind of look in there and see that it's no longer at least brown with oil. Now, of course, that K-member is the one that's coming out, so I'm not washing it. I'm just going to take off the sway bar mounts there, obviously, clean those up. But all of that to the top is clean, scrubbed, and I did some simple green on it. So now with the engine bay done, and I'm just using straight simple green and a green heavy-duty Scotch-Brite pad to kind of clean it, and I've got a wire brush for kind of the spot welds in that. But once that's clean, I'm going to let that dry and go do some other things. I'm going to come back probably in an hour or two once it's dried up a little bit, so I don't have to lay in water so much, and start scrubbing the underside. So first I'm going to scrape it with either a wire brush, or it's probably so oily that I'm just going to scrape it with like a little plastic scraper, get all of that off as much as possible, then come back in with simple green and water and scrub it, and hopefully it comes out as nice as this. But I don't know, it's a lot of oil under there, so we'll see what we can do. Okay, so with the engine bay done, it's time to go down below in the car. So I've got a paint suit on, obviously, up over my head, because this thing is so gross. So I'm head to toe, I've got muck boots on, and I've got the car, if you kind of see, it's got jack stands under it. So I have a set under the rear axle, and 2 sets under the subframe connectors. I do not want this thing dropping up on me, and that would be a really bad day. So, have patience. It's got to be done. So let's get to it. So here's kind of the starting point. If I'm laying out here, obviously the 7.5 axle, but if you look underneath the car there, you see how that nice and shiny it is? It's because it's completely covered in oil. So all of this, hopefully, all of that will be scrubbed out and gone. All right, so it's been 5 hours since I started this. And I really just went from everything from front to back. I did take a lunch break, and we did have twin baby goats born, first of our year. Tell me you didn't expect to see that on this video. So anyway, the paint suit has done fabulous. If I show you, yeah, that's what it was like under there. So, woo, I'm gonna get out of this suit. It is hot, and I'm soaked through to the skin, and I'm gonna let it dry. So this will dry for, I think I'm probably going to let it dry overnight, honestly, the rest of the day. It's only about 2 in the afternoon, so I'll let it dry the rest of the day. Tomorrow I'll take it off the jack stands and I'll put it inside, and before I do that, I will give you the picture once it's dry of kind of where it is and what it'll be like when I go inside. Okay, so there's what the bottom looks like once it is dry. So you can see it's still, there's a little bit of dirt still in there, so I'm going to work on that after I get the suspension out. There's the tire well. If you look all the way up underneath there, yeah, there's definitely some room for improvement along the way, but this is probably 85% clean to where I want. Okay, so with the car done and dry, it's time to get it in here. So the plan is to get that car in here up on jack stands so I can get the axle and the K-member out of it. Where all the parts are in the back, I'm going to get that cleaned out and bring up the other body, the 92 that I'm scrapping, get it up here on jack stands, and so when I take out the axle from the 80, the wide body out there, it's going to go directly in the 92, and I don't have to worry about storing it or anything else. I can immediately put it in there, slide it away, and be done. Same with the K-member. As soon as it comes out, put it over in the other body, be done with it, and then I can start cleaning up and get the last 10 to 15% of it done. Whew. So thankfully that's out of the way, and I can get back to final disassembly, cleaning, and reassembly and start. So that is it for this time. We will see you next time. If you have questions on what I've done and what I've used along the way, feel free to ask. See you next time.